Hello, Savannah. Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Kandily Kesha. It's Monday, y'all. Listen, we have a jam-packed show for you tonight, and I want to bring in my first guest, Mr. Skylar Holcomb. Tonight, we will be hearing from him about colorectal cancer and the importance of screening, wellness, as well as just being aware. Skylar has worked for a number of years advocating for information and education sharing among some of our most vulnerable communities. Later, we will be joined by the team owner, manager, and some players of Savannah Hurricanes. But without further ado, Skylar, welcome to Kandily Kesha.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Skylar, just briefly, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and let's hop right into colorectal awareness, Cancer Awareness Month, and why it's important.
Yeah,
And so,
so
start, I want people, particularly if you know any man over 40, and share. I want you all to share this with 10 men who you know that are over the age of 40 years old. And Skylar is going to tell us the exact age and why all of this is important. Skylar?
yes, ma'am. Just so really short, my name is Skylar Holcomb. I work at Boston Scientific GI Endoscopy. We're the world's pioneer and leader in GI technology that helps treat and sometimes cure certain GI diseases. I was an Army medic before. I dealt both battlefield and clinical medicine, and then made my advance into medical device. But like Miss Kesha was saying, starting into colorectal cancer, if you're asking if you should get screened, if you're over 45, then that means you should. And the questions about it that I receive daily, what am I looking for? What if I'm not feeling symptoms? What should I be looking for? And the short answer to that is either symptomatic or not, you should get screened. The pre-screening population of Savannah is pretty low comparatively to the rest of the nation. And especially here in the South, there are all kinds of concerns about what goes into treatment or other treatment modalities within colorectal cancer. But one thing I wanted to speak about in particular in Savannah is the disparity. It's 54% of Savannah is African American, but only 28% of the pre-screening population here in Savannah is African American. The disparity falls almost directly in line with the American Cancer Society's reporting of 20% higher incidence of colorectal cancer amongst African Americans and a 40% higher mortality once diagnosed. Now, why is this? Because we're catching this too late. In a lot of these cases, a lot of these lesions, a lot of this irregular growth that's happening inside the colon, if we catch it early, we can cure it. It doesn't have to spread into cancer. And so that's what's happening. It's late stage cancer recognition. It's late stage polyp recognition. These aren't really bad words, polyp and cancer necessarily. It's not a death sentence, but we have to catch it early. And that's the reason for pre-screening.
And Skylar, I mentioned men over 40, and that's a pervasive demographic who are adversely impacted, but it's also relegated to women as well.
Absolutely, yes, and so that's the big importance of the pre-screening of consulting your physician. If you haven't already, in the 40 to or 45 to 50 age demographic, that's where we want to try to highlight to get you in there and to start to get screened. Whether we have other options aside from colonoscopy, but in order just to get you screened by a physician, just to get checked out, to have peace of mind. I mean, we don't get blood tests necessarily because we think something's wrong. We just want to get a panel done in order to see if there's any triggers, any cues into something that could be pervasive and spreading in our body. And the same exact thing happens with the screening with colonoscopy and or Cologuard, fit test, whatever have you.
And so this is one of those situations where it sounds like people have to take their health care in their own hands, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, for sure. It's on every individual as a composite of our whole society right here in order to uplift our beautiful community to go ahead and and get screened. It's even if you take it into the responsibility of you to your family, do it for them, because I mean, ultimately this 10-minute procedure, 5-minute procedure sometimes can predetermine how you live for years to come. Like I was saying earlier, in a lot of these cases, we can cure a disease. You hardly ever hear that in medicine, which is a beautiful term, but we actually have treatments to help with that in some cases. And so, but the idea is just to get pre-screened earlier. In Savannah, we have a fantastic panel of physicians. And so that's another great addition here, is that in our community here, we have amazing doctors. Some are nationally renowned therapeutic endoscopists. And so the idea is to get in there and at least get screened by them. If you need additional help, then they'll provide world-class service for you.
And speaking of the 10-minute procedure you prefaced, let's talk a little bit about accessibility and affordability, because when it comes to healthcare and the acquisition of such, we know that access to healthcare as well as affording the preventative exams can sometimes be a barrier for people. What do you have to say to that, Skylar?
So that's part of my ongoing effort here in Savannah too, is working with both healthcare providers, systems, and or insurances altogether. Just looking at individuals' insurances to see what the offering is here. But in most cases with insurances, your preventative screening can come as early as 45. But the important thing now, first steps, check with your insurance carrier, your provider. And if you don't have insurance, healthcare.gov is a great option to go look, to go at least see what's out there, because most of these insurances, the 45 to 50-year-old range, they'll offer the preventative screening at least. If it's the educational factor of wanting to know more, I'm always available for anybody that wants to talk. Although I'm not a physician, I'd be more than happy to be a conduit between you and getting the treatment or screening that you need.
And Skylar, if you can put in our chat when we log off your information with
Sure.
regard to contact and any websites or links that you can provide whereby individuals can gather and garner more information, please do that. But before you leave, I want you to walk us through what that examination looks like. I recently turned 50. And so, being one who practices what she preaches, I was surprised and taken aback, Skylar, that the age actually changed. The required age actually recently was reduced to 45 as
Right.
opposed to 50. And from what I'm hearing, that age will probably be reduced even more in years to come. And so, from the onset of an interview for the examination, meeting with a physician, to the pre-prep that you go through to the actual exam, talk to us about what it looks like going through that process, because a lot of people are a little resistant and reluctant because of the unknown. And,
Right.
and healthcare and the system can be a little scary sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. And so you're exactly right. So just taking the first point there, healthcare can be intimidating because a lot of times in cases, physicians will come to you, healthcare providers, nurses, all the same. They'll throw a lot of terminology out there that you don't quite understand, that Google can make seem more daunting than they did. But that's where I highlight again, the staff that we have in Savannah, the surrounding areas, truly profound. I mean, again, nationally renowned doctors, published doctors. Y'all, we have such great healthcare here that again, ask them that we can have pictures, literary resources available. But if we're going into the process of the screening, so let's say you're going to get your first pre-screening colonoscopy. So this is typically going to be done at what's called an ambulatory surgical center. And so there's two main ones here in Savannah. You have the gastroenterological associates and consultants, or the Endoscopy Center of Coastal Georgia, and the liver and digestive disease specialists. Both of these work with their adjacent hospitals. But you're going to go in there and you're going to speak to a physician. They're going to explain to you what they're going to be doing in, again, the pre-screening segment of this. So let's say you're going in to get your colonoscopy, and just going in just the main bullet points, you're going to take a prep. The prep is going to clean you out. The prep is going to make sure that the scope that the physician is going to be looking at things with, that is going to be able to see full, all around circumferential, they're going to call it, view of your colon. That just means all the way around your colon. This is going to look for any lesions. So you're going to hear lesions, polyps. These are just going to be irregular growth. So that doesn't mean it's bad. They're going to look for those. They can clip those off and pop those right off with a snare. It looks like a lasso or a little forceps, if they find any. And then they're just going to be looking all the way around for anything suspect, any abnormalities or anomalies within your colon. They're going to maybe last 5 to 10 minutes. The scope is going to go all the way through your colon into what's called the cecum. That's the end point. Then they're going to pull the scope back all the way, check for everything again, and you're good. And so then you've conducted your first pre-screening colonoscopy. If there's anything of note, the physicians are going to send that off to a pathologist who's going to detect any, again, of those anomalies or anything that's suspect in your colon. So that takes a matter of days or sometimes a week, not long at all, and you'll get that examination back. And but the physicians, they'll be able to see through direct visualization if anything is typically out of place, out of whack. But again, like I said, I'm going to send all the information by Ms. Kesha with the 2 ambulatory surgical centers. Fantastic physicians, I cannot say enough. Fantastic nurses and techs that we have working for us here, and they're going to make sure you're taken care of.
Thank you so much, Skylar, for walking us through that process. Certainly, you have provided a lot more education than we knew previous to now. One other question I had as you were speaking, once we have that initial screening, we check that box, that very important box. When should we have the next screening?
So that's going to be contingent upon the physician's treatment plan for you. And that's going to be largely depending on if they found anything that of recognition. So let's say they found just a little polyp, they snare it off, and then but they might want to see you back depending on the size and or quality of that polyp in the next sometimes 3 to 5 years. But the distance between it can largely vary, just contingent upon the physician's treatment plan. If they don't find anything, it could be years out.
Okay. Well, listen, you have been very gracious with your time. We know that March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, but we also recognize and realize that it's important for us every single day to put first and foremost our healthcare. And so, Mr. Holcomb, this will not be the last time we have you come on. I sat through a very informative PowerPoint presentation you did. And I would love to carve out more time on the platform to allow you to go through that PowerPoint presentation for the public. But in the meantime, Savannah, I want you to take to heart what we have shared and provided by way of information and education to you today. And if you fall within the threshold of the age recommendation for a colorectal prevention cancer examination, we want you to certainly do so. Mr. Holcomb will put information related to how you can gain access and information as it relates to affordability pieces as well. Mr. Holcomb, you know, when I first met you a couple years ago, I talked about the importance of connections. And oftentimes here in Savannah, we do a lot of networking. And that networking is essentially based on what I can get from you. I like to approach my intention or engagement in networking from a net weaving perspective. Because when you are net weaving, you're not first seeking to see what I can get, but essentially what I can give. And in this moment, what I want to give to you is another opportunity to engage and to net weave with another group. And so, producer, if you would bring in our next guest, because as I had, it was fitting that I have you both on the platform tonight, because the majority of individuals who are connected to this organization I want to welcome the Savannah Hurricanes basketball organization to the platform tonight, Mr. Producer. These guys are people who you should be connected to. They should be connected to you. Their backdrop will provide an amazing platform for you to share more information. And so, Mr. Lindsay and his team, they are with us, and I'm not sure what the holdup here is, but you guys can come in when you want. But what I want to do is I want to introduce you to Mr. Lindsay and the Savannah Hurricanes basketball team, and just say that I will connect you all after the show. Mr. Lindsay has an amazing marketing team connected to Savannah Hurricanes, and I'm absolutely certain that there is something that can be made between a connection of extending information and education of colorectal cancer prevention, whether it be to the players or to the people attending the game or to management. Mr. Lindsay, can we make that happen?
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We can certainly make that happen. Our next mayor, great to be here and to join your platform, ma'am. I'll tell you, it was such a joy for us to see you in person yesterday and to join in the festivities. Although we came up a bit short, we think overall we had a win for the city, and so we're excited about the Hurricanes are doing. And now, on a vision for you and Mr. Holcomb, I believe there's some space for us to work together and to make this city a better place. I'm joined tonight by my head coach, Mr. Carlos Wilson, and I have Mr. Leroy Sanders, one of our players, our long ball specialist, and our gritty player, Mr. Najee Cooley, and also I have Prep on the line, who brings the noise in the marketing department as the next mayor has so candidly expressed. And I'll tell you, when we wrote the initial love letter to the city, what we wanted to do was to establish a platform to elevate our players. There's a lot of talent here in Savannah, and we didn't feel like that talent was being noticed. We were bleeding out talent to the Atlantas, to the Charlotte, and some were leaving and going down south and pursuing basketball careers. And so I decided to bring a team here, one, to capture the talent that's here and elevate their platforms and get them noticed and notoriety that they deserve, and maybe off into another opportunity in the G League with the NBA or overseas internationally. And two, we wanted to impact our youth. So I wanted to leverage these heroes, these sports figures in the community to affect our youth. So the majority of our sponsorships and partnerships that you'll see us engage with have to do with healthy lifestyle, healthy choices in our community and affecting our youth in a positive way. So we decided to tag team with several nonprofit partners. We're nested with Quad E, a nonprofit that was founded by my late wife. And what she did was had the vision to bring healthcare, education, and screening opportunities to underserved communities throughout the coastal empire. And I've been running that for about eight years now, lost 3 years ago. But that's one of our partners that keeps my players right, acting right, looking right. Our actual medical director for Quad E is the team's doctor. We're tied into the YMCA. We're tied into Greenbrier. Savannah Youth City is a partner of ours. An organization out of Hinesville called Lights Out Youth Empowerment Group that's ran out of Fellowship of Love Church, my church. They're partners with us. And Elevate Savannah, that's right in Beach High School and Jenkins High School, that encourage our youth to engage in STEM opportunities. So I challenge our guys to get into classrooms and encourage our youth to eat right, to sleep right, and listen to their parents, stay off drugs, stay in school, not get pregnant, and to just be ambassadors for our brand in the community. Kesha, I heard you say something a little earlier, ma'am. Net weaving, I got to steal that because what we tried to do in the city was truly give something to the city that they can be proud of. So, Mr. Holcomb, I'm excited about the premise of us working together. And this vision that we have is big. People are buying into it. And what I'll do now is I'll yield the mic, if you don't mind, to my coach, and let him kind of unpack the vision a little bit more from the tactical level and how he saw things.
Appreciate that.
Coach, is Coach Wilson frozen?
Yeah, he looks like he's frozen. Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's someone. Well, he's probably going to try to come back in. Where is our? Okay, Mr. Prep. I don't. I call you Prep. That's how you were introduced to me. Is that what you prefer?
Yeah, most people call me Prep.
Okay.
My real name is Justin Grove. I've had Prep for about 10 years now.
Today, sir.
Yeah, so I've had the name Prep for about 10 years now, so it's kind of stuck pretty heavy. But yes, in regards to the Savannah Hurricanes, in my department with the marketing department, my biggest thing was not only to make sure we had the community, but as well as the city as a whole, the diversity in the city. When you think about attractions, right now we're, if not, in my opinion, the second best area for film, for creatives, for content creators. But then as well as I also saw we got sports out here. Why not have one of the top elite teams play out here, push it to be one of the top elite teams, market it to our community as their team, you know what I'm saying? So that instead of you going all the way to Atlanta or all the way to Jacksonville for fun, you can come directly right here. We can keep your kids off the street. We can influence your kids. We can give you guys a good time. You know what I'm saying? The players, they interact with the kids, which is a big thing as well. After each win, we take a picture with the kids. And that in itself, these kids might not ever see LeBron James play, but you'll see Najee Cooley play.
Right.
You'll see Leroy play. You'll see Sinclair play. You'll see Bank play. You'll be able to see these guys do their thing right in front of you, but then as well as be leaders in the community so that they're not just guys bouncing the ball. They're public figures to our community.
Well, I have to say, Prep, I actually witnessed that in action. And I get a little choked up because people never know. I recently heard this saying that you all have probably heard before. People will forget what you said, and they will oftentimes forget what they heard, but they will never forget the way you made them feel. And the players, what I want you all to know is that you may not realize what you are doing to and for the young people. We were fortunate enough to enjoy courtside seats, which we're so grateful for. You are truly giving Savannah an experience that we have not had within basketball. We were able to bring to the game a friend's son who lost his brother to senseless gun violence a couple years ago. And he's an impressionable little 6-year-old who is so smart. And he sat there, and in my mind, I was thinking that he wasn't interested. But when I say to you, he sucked it all in. I'm going to send you all back a video of a video his mom shared with me that evening. He went home, y'all, and he was tearing up this little basketball goal that he had touched since Christmas. And he was just his shot and making his shot. And so you've inspired that little boy to engage and to get busy. And you've given him a semblance of hope. And so along the lines of that net weaving, Coach, Mr. Lindsay, I also saw you in real time net weave. We were at a African American history program at one of the local Christian private schools here in Savannah, and you gave the entire room tickets to the next game, and I just thought that was so honorable. And the crowd that evening, I felt the energy. I felt a renewed spirit. I felt an amazing opportunity to build upon. And I'm excited for what the Savannah Hurricanes will do for Savannah. Coach, let's hear from you a little bit. You look, you ended the season, your first season, 15 who does that with a brand new basketball team?
Good afternoon, Ms. Mayor. I would contribute to actually our owner, our GM, and the guys as a whole. I think we are sum of all our parts. And I think for any organization to be successful, you have to have good bones and good structure and good people. And so we started with a plan a couple of months ago, back in early October. And you know, my owner's like, hey, listen, I want to have a competitive team that the community can get behind, and also a team where young kids can touch the players. And I think in our first inaugural season, we were able to achieve that. I told them I wanted men that were pillars in the community, on and off the court, and I think they have surpassed that in the first season. I can't be helped but very proud of what we have so far and what we continue to build on, and it was really good for Savannah to get behind us.
Well, listen, I don't consider the game as a loss. That last game, it was a win. You guys, you played. Najee, Leroy, Chris, look, you guys, you got it. You know, and Najee, you almost took a guy out. You know, I was like, supposed to be the host of City of the South. Be nice to them. Listen, what is your motivation, and what drives you in terms of this organization?
Well, you know, me actually coming to this organization, when I first got here, I was actually supporting my friend Leroy Sanders. I was coming to support him as he tried out for the team, and I really was done. I was playing professional basketball for the last 4 to 5 years, and with COVID hitting and stuff like that, I just wasn't able to go overseas because of the whole mandate thing and the vaccine and stuff like that. So I decided to doing for the city, playing for the Savannah Cavaliers, but it wasn't on this big platform that we're doing now for the Savannah Hurricanes. So when I went there to support him, the coach said, "Hey man, you got good size on you, man." And a couple of the guys that was already there, they already knew me, knew I play basketball. So they said, "Hey, why don't you try out?" I was like, "Well, I don't really want to do it anymore." But they said, "Hey, we're paying. This is gonna be a second job for you." So I couldn't turn that down. As far as I made the team, and from there it just, like I said, great atmosphere, man. The drive that I have, of course, my son, do it for him. Try to be a good positive role model on his life, and try to show him that I can do the right thing and still do my dream and goals. Whether if I'm still working a 9 to 5 or whatever, I still can be your dad. I can still be the big basketball player you want me to be. Whether it's not the NBA, it's something like that, But just giving back to your community, whatever I can do, I'll make sure I can do the best that I can just to enlighten everyone and make everyone happy and stuff like that. So.
I love it. Leroy?
Well, my main motivation was, I don't know if it's cliche, but it was God. That was my main motivation to even going out to try out the basketball team. I ran into Lindsay one day after I was praying about, I was getting in shape, playing basketball on my own. And it wasn't like a fun thing. I just was doing it, and I was praying like, why am I doing this? Just asking God to show me a sign. The next day I met Lindsay. He bumped into me at Walmart, told me to come try out for the team, and that's what I did. And I just, was following that path ever since then. Great organization. And after I got on the team, what really drove me was, just trying to be there for my teammates, trying to be not a role model only for the people that's outside, but for the people that was there, because, as men, we don't have a lot of guidance always, especially other men showing us how to be men. A lot of us grew up without fathers around. I was one of them. And so I just decided, that's what I'm going to try to show in my everyday life. And then the basketball came in, and, they called me Father Lee, and I try to, walk in that path. I walk in that path, everything I do, sacrificing my own personal things that I want. And I wanted to score 30 points a game. I'm going to go out and score 30 points. But the coach said, hey, I don't need you to do that. I need you to do this. Right. All right, I'm going to do that just to show other people that you can sacrifice your own personal, wants and needs for the betterment of a bigger organization.
True team, true team. They say there's no I in team, right?
Right.
Yeah. And my husband, the consummate competitor, says, but there is an I in win.
It is a win.
Chris, now are you the assistant? I don't recognize you as one of the players.
No, your recognition is correct. I am not one of the players. I am the general manager is my current role and position with the organization. So thank you for this opportunity and platform.
Yes, listen, this must be just amazing experience for you right now with the exposure that the team has, but as the general manager and the CEO of the Hurricanes, I want to pledge my support to you all because I don't only see this as just a professional basketball organization. I see the Savannah Hurricanes in terms of what you can provide to Savannah is an amazing backdrop to help us respond to so many of the societal and social ills that we have in Savannah. As you know, for a very long time, at least the last 4 years or so, we have steadily eclipsed the number of homicide among African American men and boys in our community. And we see that there are missed opportunity after missed opportunity here in Savannah. And so as a leader of this city, it is my goal and my intent to cultivate relationships whereby we can respond to some of these societal ills from a non-traditional approach by way of backdooring our way into solving these problems. And so as the general manager, I can imagine this is the great state of Chatham, so it's very unique to work through the nuances of this city. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced, and how is it that you can receive tangible support and help, not only from the city of Savannah, but from the county of Chatham?
Well, I have observed some of the situations and circumstances that you just made mention of, and you're right. I echo the sentiments of everyone that that spoke before me. But the opportunity that the Savannah Hurricanes can bring to the city of Savannah and the culture of Savannah is invaluable. It's priceless, and it can go a long way. The vision that Lindsay spoke of earlier, before we even signed Najee and knew Najee and Leroy and Coach, he spoke the very things that the culture and the community is seeing, from his mouth. We put it on paper, and now it's actually being applied. So, and this again is our inaugural season. We had a great, tremendous season within the league that we are ascribed to, and the best is yet to come. So we have a great guys, we have a great supporting cast, and with the city behind us and your office behind us, we can only go further and deeper and farther in the league and for the Savannah community.
And Mr. Rollins, here's a challenge I want to offer to the community on behalf of you as the general manager in the Hurricanes organization. We know that in order for us to thrive and to survive, we have to be our brother's keeper. And it is high time that while we have some people in office who advocate and make great strides when it comes to acquiring those things that should be extended to our most vulnerable and marginalized communities, when we arrive and when we are there, we have to be like the Sankofa bird, and we have to reach back. And so I want to challenge every business who care about community, particularly the African American businesses, but we can't do the work that we need to do without others. I want you to be a sponsor for the 2023-24 season of the Savannah Hurricanes. And so right now, I want someone to put into the chat some contact information. Mr. Rollins, I don't know how you stagger your sponsorship program, but we to foster a way by which every business in Savannah who can, we want them to connect with you in a way in which they can provide some tangible support to you, because as I've heard here today, somebody well, I'll tell you who it is. Al Williams, a state representative out of Liberty County. He's actually my. And when I set my course to run, Mr. Lindsay, he told me, he says, Kesha, it takes coal to run a train, but it takes gold to run a campaign. So that means money, right? So Savannah Hurricanes, I know that you depend a great deal on sponsorships, from the salaries of the players and your staff to the rentals for the facilities that you need. I can't imagine why we would not be extending through our governmental offering some in-kind support for an organization like yours as well. I know firsthand what we do for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. And so I would not expect anything less in terms of that liberality to be extended to you all as well. And so again, I'm making an appeal to all of my friends of all hues who own businesses to seek out how you can support the Savannah Hurricanes. And Prep has my email and information, Mr. GM. And so I will ask that he share that with you so that you can send me a sponsorship package so that you can share that with businesses as well. And I want to ask a question. When I did my little bit of research, I saw that you were a triple threat basketball team, a triple threat professional basketball team. Now, I know a whole bunch of, I know a little bit of my husband's background and his work. But when I saw that, a triple threat, you are some good looking guys, you're athletic. But what is the third threat? Or am I wrong with the first two?
It's the TTBL is a triple threat basketball league.
Okay, so what's the triple?
It's the posture. So the symbol that you see is a posture that a basketball player assumes, and from that posture or position, they can do one of three things: they can dribble the ball, shoot the ball, or pass the ball.
Okay.
So it's a play on the emblem of the league.
I love
and for us, the Hurricanes, yes. When I came here initially in 1989, I ran smack at Hurricane Hugo. Coming out of DC, we don't have hurricanes, so I remembered it. It was impactful for me as a young soldier. When I came back here at the end of my career and retired and decided to do this, I said, we're going to be the Hurricanes. And what we're going to do is take the elements of this storm, and it's going to be synonymous with what we do. You can see it. It's predictable. It's coming your way, and you can't do anything about it. And what we're going to do is we're going to impact our community. And in this aftermath, when you look back, you'll see evidence of what we're doing in the community. You said something, ma'am, that really struck a chord with me, and that is, we're slow to ask for assistance, and I've been funding the Hurricanes pretty much out of my military retirement salary, and we do have a couple of sponsors that have come and put their hands to the plow, but it's a very costly operation to man and to run, and then we pass through dollars to nonprofits and help them with the vision that we have, as long as it aligns with the vision within the community. So I applaud you for soliciting resources on our behalf, and we will have a packet that extends down from the $1,000 all the way down to $35 per individual kid. We want to do a camp, and we want to start off with morals and values, and we're going to dribble a ball that day, but we're going to teach our kids how to act, how to say yes, sir, and no, sir. Teach a kid how to tie a tie, teach a kid how to shake a hand, teach a young lady how to sit down in the vest. We want to do those things and then roll a basketball out and basketball skills. But we want to keep our youth qualified for opportunities in life. Someone told me a long time ago, they can't be it if they can't see it. And so we're going to set the example of what a good, upstanding, and upright citizen needs to be in our community. I believe citizenship and discipline are the keys to success in life, and they'll take you anywhere in life. It what separates these very athletes from their peers: the ability to be disciplined and the ability to carry themselves in a morally upstanding way. And the sky's the limit for you. I appreciate you.
I really love that. It reminds me of a saying of a good friend of mine, Hollis Mitchell. He often says, you can't teach them if you can't reach them. And so we're looking forward to helping to showcase as well as advertise those camps that you're going to have. We are so excited about this professional basketball team. I'm so happy that you chose Savannah, and we're going to try to do everything possible to make it worth our while. And so in the next season, I want y'all to put a category 5 on them now, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Will do.
Gladly.
Well, what can we see by way of the rollout for the beginning of the season? What date do we need to look for?
We will do a we'll have a banquet, and then we will have a joint. We're sponsors of this year's Mother's Day weekend picnic, sponsored by E93 and 102.3, and then we're going to go into a season of tryouts again, and the next season will tip off in October.
Well, it's so exciting, and I hope that you all can take this ask and do something with it. As I stated, my husband works with a lot of young kids in athletics, and oftentimes he says to me that we have to find a niche for those young people who get cut from basketball teams when they are in high school. From elementary school to middle school, you have community little league teams. But when a young man can't make the high school team, there is no place for him to go. There is no world, there is no community, there is no group for him to join. And so if there is a way that the Savannah Hurricane can give consideration to filling a niche or a void or a gap, to be a catch basin for that kid who has athletic ability, but can't make the team. We simply don't want them to find a community in the streets. And so if you all can carve out a way to say, here I am, send me, we will make it worth your while to help us save Savannah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We
can do a camp. We can do a camp specifically before that.
Yep.
We can run tournaments.
Tournaments. Yeah. A lot of stuff for that.
Yes. Well, thank you so very much. I am so excited, y'all. I'm excited. It's the work is exhausting, but it's exciting. I'm so happy to make these connections, and we're looking forward to the next season. But previous to the next season, we have a whole summer of activities to go through. So continue to share that information. Share the information back with us with regard to those sponsorship packages, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It. Thank you so much for having
us. It was a pleasure meeting you, Ms. Carter.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, you be safe and keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Ditto.
Thank you.
Okay, Savannah, listen, that was a magnificent show. Lots of information sharing. We hope that there was something shared tonight that you can use. We are going to close the show now, but before we close, we want you to know that it is campaign season. And so now I have the double challenge of not only serving the city of Savannah, but campaigning for another post, a new post, a higher post. I want to be your next mayor of Savannah. It's time that we end the nightmare, y'all. I want you to wake up, Savannah. Wake up, wake up, wake up, Savannah. Let's end the nightmare, and it's time to elect a mayor who cares. So I want you to go to my website, kgc68mayor.com, kgc68mayor.com. I can't do this without you. I asked y'all in 2019 when I got up off of my sofa and decided to run for public office, having no political aspiration or experience, simply having a heart for Savannah and a desire to do what I've done for Savannah for over 25 years at that time. And that was to advocate, to make myself accessible, and to inspire people and empower them to speak up and speak out and stand up and take their rightful place. and fight for that which they desire. And so, since my arrival into City Hall, I have done just that. I have advocated for some of the most important causes in our community, from reducing crime, rolling back your property taxes, to making sure that we were being compassionate when caring for our homeless community, but balancing that with how we care for the vagrant community as well. In addition, we wanted to make sure that we were creating a transparent government, making sure that we were not engaging in wasteful spending and legacy contracting. We're still working hard, y'all, making sure that everyone had equal access to not only those offerings of the city of Savannah, but just a basic, decent way to make a living in this city, and to extend the accessibility of myself. I have visited many of you in your neighborhoods, at your community centers, at your events, your activities, your churches. I've been in your living rooms. I've been to your funerals and your weddings. And so here I am today, seeking to continue to make myself accessible, to expand my experience under the Gold Dome into your homes. We also work to empower you. Y'all, I've taken it on a chin more times than none. I've taken it for the team more times than was necessary. And still, I have the audacity to get up and run for higher office. I have the audacity in the face of strong judgment, criticism, and ridicule. I have the audacity under personal and financial attack. I have the audacity in the midst of individuals calling me out of my name and attempting to ruin my reputation. I have the audacity to get up and say, I will be your 68th mayor of Savannah. I will be the mayor who cares for this community. I will do exactly what I have done for this community for over 25 years. We don't master and major in manipulation. We present ourselves as authentically as we always has, and that's what I will continue to do. But I cannot do it without you, Savannah. I have sacrificed a great deal from my home. My husband essentially paid for me to do this job, and we don't have any regrets. This is a part of our investment and our giving of ourselves, which my entire family has always sacrificed throughout my entire career, in our effort to give to the community and make the place in which we live better. But more than that, to be the light that God calls us to be to our community. And so, with that, I need you to alleviate some of the pressure off of your dear candidate and go to that website. This is going to be a community campaign. This is a grassroots campaign. I don't want any money from anyone who does business with the city of Savannah. If you seek to do business with the city of Savannah, if you want a governmental contract from the city of Savannah, whether I'm in office as an alderwoman or when I will be in office as a mayor, please do not give me any money. Okay? We want to be a transparent government. I do not think that my donor record should match my voting record. I should not be a part of extending opportunities for contracts to individuals who pay for my campaign. We can and won't do that. Winning is just not worth it to me. The mayor's job pay just at $50,000. We're not going to count all the additional perks somebody we know gets, but I don't see where it's necessary to raise much more than that. But in order for me to be a viable and competitive candidate, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to go to my website at the end of this live. Go to my website, and you can pledge as little as $6.80 a month, or as much as $680 one time, or you can cap out your contribution to $3,000 if anyone is that blessed. I actually got my first $3,000 check, y'all. I'm so excited about that. However, and whatever it is that you can do to help me to continue to help you, let's be the change that we need to see. Let's take it home, Savannah. We need this win. We need this win more than you know. This is not about ego. This is about we go, right? We want this to be about us, US, a united Savannah. If you have any questions, there's information related to how to make contact with me, in addition to how to get swag, t-shirts, bumper stickers, and if you want a yard sign, or if you want placement of a 4x4, give us a call and let us know. Who is this? See, hey P2. Hey P2. P2 has rolled out her signs too, y'all, and she will be making her announcement for candidacy for her second term as Alderwoman at Large for Post 2 of the City of Savannah on April 4th at 5:30 at the newly renovated Yamacraw Square. And we're going to have a special guest come and talk to us about a new discovery that's going on in Yamacraw. Y'all, we're still trying to save Yamacraw. We're still trying to save Yamacraw. We're still trying to help the West Chatham residents preserve their properties and their land as well. So we've done the work. We've done the work. I often say to people who are plotting and charting their course for public office now, I tell them, when you win, you don't ever have to worry about campaigning if you serve the way you campaign. In Savannah, you all know I have served the way I campaigned in 2019. I'm not worried about the headlines. I'm not worried about any news reports. I'm not worried about anything these people will attempt to do to me legally or socially. And they haven't touched me emotionally. I promise you to God, what everything I know and God loves, I have not shed one tear since starting this job. If anything, I have laughed at the lunacy of what happens and the unethical behaviors and the unscrupulous professionalism or lack thereof that I see in our media and among our media affiliates and those who have been in the industry for over 20 years. It disgusts me, but I smile. I smile through it. Listen, I haven't lost any edges. They've all grown back. I got all my teeth. My blood pressure is lowered. I'm good, y'all. I promise you. I promise you, I am gooder than good. So I often tell people, don't feel sorry for me at all. Please don't have pity. If he didn't think I could do it, he would not have prepared me before now. If he brings you through it, if he brings you to it, he will keep you through it. And so, my friends, if you're going through anything right now, know that it's not about you, but it's about the work that he has to be done through you. And so you can't look too far to your left or look too far to your right. You have to be laser focused. You have to be laser focused on what it is that you are supposed to do. And I know what I'm supposed to do, because at the onset of friction within this council, it was the second month that I took office, the second month in February. And I was brushing my teeth. And this was after I had contacted several high-profile pastors, pastors who pastor some of the largest congregations. They're the most popular pastors, the top 4 pastors in this city. I contacted each of them and I said, this isn't what you sent me to City Hall for. And what you think is happening is not happening. I need you to get me and the mayor in a room. And we need to talk about what your expectations are as leaders in this community who pastor the flock in this community. And we need to get this right, because this isn't what you think it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that meeting never happened. It never happened. And later, we had a display of many pastors after I made my announcement for mayor, pulled us in and wanted to know, what is it that we can do, or what's going on? I was there. Alderwoman Blakely was there. Alderwoman Lanier was there. And that's it. So we've done our part. We've done our part. We've made outreach, and we've shouted to the rooftop, and we've been down in the gutter. And there's no getting around where we are. What is what it is. But fortunately for us, there's no more shouting needed. We don't have to go down to the gutter anymore. You know why? Because the rhetoric has outpaced reality. What has been said for 3 years and 3 months doesn't match the reality of what you are actually feeling and seeing in your community. And so take me off the table. Take personalities, interpersonal relations, and if you want to focus more on decorum and the poor, false narratives of the news, if that's what your focus is, I have no conversation for you. But if you want to talk about the reality of where we are in Savannah, and you want to match that with the rhetoric, you will find that the only things that have changed between the previous administration and this administration are these facts. More crime, more forced displacement, more poverty, more homelessness, lower morale than ever before in the history of Savannah. Don't take my word for it. And more crime. Talk to any City of Savannah employee. I would say out of 10 of them, talk to 8.5 of them. And you will find the truth. And the truth is that the citizens are suffering more than they ever have been. The citizens who work within the City of Savannah. And so that being said, let's consider the facts. Keep your mind on what's actually happening, reality, the issues, and take personalities off the table, because that's not going to make your community safer. When the media would rather use their airways and their ink and paper and take up space, what somebody said to somebody else, as opposed to acknowledging to you that your property taxes have increased, as opposed to acknowledging to you that many citizens are losing their footing in the City of Savannah because of rising rents and rising mortgages. I don't know about you all, but I haven't received an escrow check in years. You don't receive the escrow check because all of the extra you used to get is now being absorbed by your rising taxes. And so, Savannah, finally, I want to say to you, you have a choice to take another chance for change that we so desperately need in this community. And I'm simply offering myself for service one more time. My pastor preached a sermon this past Sunday, and it's totally aligned with where I am. Albeit he talked about going down and having one last shot before you fall. I've never been down, Savannah. I've never been down. I've never been down, Savannah. Never. And it's my desire that as you go through, as you face your challenges and your struggles, that you too will be able to be sustained and have some hope to hold on to, and to not be moved by what you are going through, but be able to keep your focus on where it is you're supposed to go and what it is that you're supposed to do. Because that's what I've done. I've done it with a smile. Nothing you see about me is fake. I don't have to paste on anything. Sometimes I get weary in the well-doing and the showing up and the going and the coming, because I'm human. But based on what I have faced and what I have gone through, I'm not moved in the least, because it's not what's important to me. What's important to me is that we save Savannah. And so with that, I want to say to you that your girl is in the fiery furnace and I'm not even hot. In fact, I have on my winter clothes. Good night, Savannah. I love you.
like that.